Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to a brand new video. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're new. We are on the road to 900 subscribers, so please subscribe. Guess what? Also, we are back for your Premier League predictions. I'm going to get all the predictions right. Your game week 1 predictions. The last time we actually did this was all the way back in May 26, 2023. Leeds United are back in the Premier League, so it's time for my Premier League predictions. And I'm going to be 100% correct. Easy. So we start off with the first game of the season. We got Liverpool at home versus Bournemouth. Liverpool have had probably the best window, easily, and in my opinion, they're going to win the league. Bournemouth, on the other hand, have lost a lot of players. They're going to buy some players, I know that, but I think this game is going to be way too tough for Bournemouth, and Liverpool are going to win this game. Do I think it's going to be an easy win for Liverpool? I kind of think it will be. It'll be a 3-1 win in my opinion. I think that Liverpool will go into a 3-0 lead, and then Bournemouth will get a consolation goal. I think that's how it's going to work. I think Liverpool have a very good performance, especially after losing to Palace in the Community Shield. I think they're going to have a very good start to the season. They're going to go 3-0 up, and then they'll concede a goal at the end, and it'll be 3-1. It'll be a 3-1 Liverpool win, and yeah, I just think they're going to be probably better. Now, going into the next game is probably the second biggest game of the weekend, you could say. The game, or the tightest game, in my opinion, what should be, based off last season. We got Aston Villa versus Newcastle. We got 5th versus 6th last season. We got two teams that are very good, that have pushed themselves back into competing for Europe, and two teams that, you know, I think are going to be back up there again this season. So you got Newcastle, who are getting rejected by every single player under the sun. You got Aston Villa, who, you know, they've done some business. They've got a good squad. I think both teams have a very good squad, and this will be a very entertaining game. I think this will be game of the round. I know later on you got Man United versus the Arsenal, but I think footballing wise, this will be the game of the round. I can just feel it, that there's going to be a back and forward game, which is why I'm going to go for Aston Villa winning this 3-2 in an absolute thriller. There's going to be the first game week. This is going to be the best game of the game week. It's going to be an absolute thriller, and Aston Villa are going to beat Newcastle in a very tight game, 3-2. And then we go into the next game. We do have Brighton versus Fulham, and then you go, how do you think this game is going to go? Two teams that I think will finish probably close to each other again, and yeah, I do think Fulham will end up winning this. I think Fulham will win this, but I think it's going to be a very tight game. I'm going to actually go 2-1 to Fulham. I think Fulham win this game 2-1, and they start their season with a win against Brighton. I think there's going to be actually a close game as well, and yeah, I think Fulham will get it over the line and win this game. The next game we got is Spurs versus Burnley. Now, I just think this is going to be an easy win for Tottenham. I think Spurs are going to win this game 4-0. I think they're going to absolutely batter Burnley, by the way. I just don't see a world where Burnley win, and all I can see in picture in my head is Burnley getting absolutely thumped by Spurs. I think Spurs absolutely batter them. 4-0 win to Tottenham, and they start their season on a very strong high. And yeah, next up we got Sunderland versus West Ham at the Stadium of Light. Now, since it's at the Stadium of Light, I actually think Sunderland are going to win this game. I think they're going to win this game 1-0, and you know who the goal scorer is going to be. I've had this feeling, which is why he's in my FPL team. I think Granit Xhaka is going to score Sunderland's. I think he's going to score Sunderland's first goal of the season, and they're going to beat West Ham 1-0 and start strong, as they mean to try and survive in the Premier League and end the cycle, which I think they will if you watch my Premier League predictions. So I do think Sunderland are actually going to beat West Ham. I think it's going to be a very tight 1-0 win. I think they're going to score in the 27th minute. It's going to be like middle of the first half, and they're going to score a goal, and then they're going to basically be able to defend the lead for the rest of the game and win the game 1-0. Next up, we got Wolves versus Man City. Man City, in my opinion, just walk Wolves, in my opinion, in this game. I think it's going to be a 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0 win to Man City, and I just think they'll be too strong for them. They got a very good squad. I'm liking the players that I'm liking the look of. Reindeers, I really like Reindeers. I think he's going to be a baller, and I actually think he's going to score on the opening day alongside Haaland. So I think that they're going to win this game 2-0. Haaland's going to score, Reindeers is going to score, and boom, bang, bang, it's going to be a Man City start to the season where they're looking to go on and win the league. Next up, we got Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, off the back of just winning the Community Shield against Liverpool, they're going to be on a very strong high. Chelsea, who just won the Club World Cup, so I think this game is going to actually be a pretty good, entertaining game of football. It's at Stamford Bridge, and I think Chelsea will end up winning this game, but I do think it's going to be a tight game, because I think Palace have shown themselves already that they can compete with the top teams. They can compete with the top teams in the league, and I think they'll do that again. I think they'll end up losing 3-1, but I think it's going to be more of a tight 3-1 where it's 2-1 for most of the game, and then Chelsea will score a very late goal basically to wrap up the game. It'll be like in the 89th minute, they'll make it 3-1 that basically just wraps up the game. But I think it's going to be a very tight game for most, most of the game is going to be very tight, very close. And yeah, I think it's going to be one of those games where it goes 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, and then 3-1 right at the end. I think it's going to be a very tight game, but Chelsea will be able to get it over the line and win. Next up, we've got Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. Now, Brentford, I tipped to get relegated because I think they're going to have a poor season, a very bad season. Forest, on the other hand, have scored like 1 goal in pre-season, I'm pretty sure, so it's not looking good for Forest after pre-season, but I do think Forest are going to, I think this game's going to end in a draw. I think this game's actually going to end in a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw between between Forest and Brentford. And this is weird because this is going to be the first draw of the season. It's going to be right near the end of the first game week. So yeah, I do think Forest and Brentford are actually going to draw. I still think Brentford will get relegated as I predicted. And I think Forest will have a good season. But I do think opening day, I do think Brentford will get a point in this game. It's just one of those where I think they'll get a point. Next up is probably the match of the game week. It's Man United versus Arsenal. And I just think Arsenal are going to win this game. I think they're going to win it 3-0. I'm going to say 3-0. I think it's not going to be one of those 3-0s where they, it's over early and they battered them. It's going to be like 1-0 in the first half. There'll be an early goal in the second half and then a late goal to make it 3-0. But it'll be a game where Man United are in it and they have chances, but they just can't convert their chances. And then Arsenal are going to score 3, win the game 3-0, and starting their push towards trying to win the league, which they need to, as they're in phase 6. And the final game of the game week is Leeds United versus Everton. The final game of the game week, and I do think Leeds United are going to win this game. I still back us to win this game. At the moment, the attack is what's worrying me right now. I understand that the attack's worrying me right now because we haven't signed a winger. We haven't signed a striker. We've been linked with Muniz for so long and we're still not signing him. But yeah, I do think we're going to beat Everton. I know they've just signed Jack Grealish. I know they've got a pretty good squad and Jai. I'll save all the rest until my preview. So, but yeah, I do think Leeds United are going to win this game. I'm still going to back us to win on the opening day because it's one of those where we have to win. I feel like, it's one of those where I think we have to win, and I think we are going to win this game. I think we're going to win this game. It's going to be a tight game, but I think we're going to win at 1-0. I think we're going to get a 1-0 win, and Leeds United will start the season strong with a win, which is what we need, especially after we got like Arsenal and Newcastle. But yeah, that's my Premier League predictions. Let me know in the comments down below your predictions for the first game week of the Premier League. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.